Hi guys, welcome back to Battlemarked. Just let me fix my OBS here.
Lawlessness and Trump's coming to kill the local police. You mean the local government that's going to do uprisings? Well, the police are on his side. So it's the same story over and over and over again. None of it's real, but they don't care. All right.
I should do.
Has got a lot more. She said, "Hey, come on."
Good enough. There we go. I think I got it fixed. Welcome to Battlemarked, guys. This is episode 3, and we're using the wizard, the halfling sorcerer, Tibby.
The border, the economy, the latest developments, the Islamic attacks, all of it, and what we can do to stand effectively against it. But remember, I need funds to fight the deep state. I'm getting ready to file a serious civil rights lawsuit. Already filed a bunch. Got big ones coming out. Probably this week, maybe early next week, but it is going to be bombshell stuff that you don't even know about yet. The FBI, the CIA, running all their operations against us, you name it. But it takes money to do this. And to have the network operate, all the rest of it. Hell, we may save InfoWars. Go right now to theelectionstore.com. Biggest sale in our history. Buy any supplement.
Come on, dude.
And get any of
One more buzzer
free.
beater.
That means you can buy a $20 supplement, get a $40 one free. Huge sale. It's only running for this particular sale until Friday. It's all part of the 12 days of Christmas. There's other specials coming up as well. Theelectionstore.com. Thank you so much for keeping us on the air.
On thealexjonesstore.com, you get buy one, get one free for any supplement. That includes our incredible Ultramethylene Blue, either the tincture or the capsules, as well as the Shilajit gummies, the Colostrum Plus, the Bovine Colostrum Plus, the Irish Sea Moss gummies. I mean, there's a lot of really incredible stuff. I'm here in the studio with Patrick Byrne. I know you're a big fan of the Ultramethylene.
You guys want to enter? I'm going to drag more people next time.
All supplements, buy one, get one free. It's the Black
AC7,
Friday
scan QR code, join the Discord, baby.
Thealexjonesstore.com. Plus, we have a new deal to the Hat of the Month Club where you can sign up and get a new hat every month, which is very fun. Of course, Christmas is coming up, folks. It'll be here before you know it. So do your Christmas shopping for the Info Warriors in your life. Patrick, you still all hopped up on Methylene Blue?
I am. I pilfer a bottle every time I come. You guys pay me in Methylene Blue, and when it's been more than 60 days since I've been here, so I run out. I will absolutely in 2 days. My life goes back to being a little more lethargic than I should. Wanting to sleep and it's not like speed or something. This is something. It's just you feel like
It's like a clean, smooth energy. It's not coffee where you're sort of jittery. It's just like it's like putting super gasoline in your car rather than the regular stuff. It's subtle, but you notice it.
you do.
Whatever the future may
innocent.
hold, InfoWars
Dude, get this guy a bond. Let's get him a good load.
will continue. Be sure to follow us
IRL, I know.
Real
Doing IRL tomorrow.
Jones and at AJNY. And now you can download the #1 news app in the world. Go to
You're under arrest.
alexjonesstore.com and let the deep state party know that we will never be silenced.
That shit's hilarious. Alright, dude. Well, we're gonna do IRL tomorrow. I'm gonna figure it out. We're gonna do some sort of IRL soon. I'm gonna get back to it. Yeah. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for giving me a chill week. Back down. You guys. Thanks for supporting me. Thanks for hanging out.
Here they come.
I'm excited for tomorrow. Taking Adderall and getting high and drunk. Looking forward to it.
Oh my God! Just the smell.
Alright, love you guys. See you then.
key until she's gotten all her sources. You better believe she's got them. As you've seen, an active coup against Hexas, so they can then claim Trump's a war criminal. She's going to use that as the evidence of it when there is no evidence. This is so important. And all these attacks are coming together right
Ice and
now.
Carl could be friends. They are both strange, autistic 30-year-old men. They both used to love saying the N-word. They're both Jewish. They are both currently racist. Also, Ice, have you seen Carl's dick? You might want to check it out.
The EU, NATO sabotaging the peace deal again, which we predicted they would do. Putin's statements on it. The IRA has been fired back up as the new IRA in Ireland over the UN globalist invasion with the invaders. So that's all coming up. And then we've got some of the background on the Biden family's lawyer, the lawyer for South Park.
The way lies ahead.
And being behind all these attacks on the administration, which they have a First Amendment right to do. I'm all for it. We just have a right to expose what they're up to, what they're engaged in, and how they're trying to undermine and act like Trump's a dictator when he's not. It's the Democrats that want to sell this country out.
Lie true.
Problems. They've been a horrible party until recently. But we have formed a beachhead in the country, in the government,
Breathe.
of real reform. And that's what's exciting. So again, there's this paradox of people that have woken up who aren't realists, that don't have any depth or context. The appointees, by and large, of Trump have been excellent and are handling the global system. Trump's made major mistakes. His DOJ is a disaster. We're critical of that. And I don't just put this out. Every time I put this out, I see comments on X like, oh, he's defending himself for being sucking Trump's weenie or whatever. It's not about that. I don't say that to pinch you.
Carl, I hope you don't mind, but I gave Mango plot armor and Tazo Gray's ball instead. Twice. Once alive in the shower and another while dead. Mango lives and gets picked up by Chinaman after trying to off himself.
Right.
Under so many different coups, and so many stolen elections, and so much corruption, that most people, including myself, have gotten kind of punch drunk, where here's this huge concerted, orchestrated attack on Hexas, following orders that are legal, in my view. But regardless, he follows the orders. If Trump goes with his lawyers and says flush Hexas, they're going to turn around and impeach him for war crimes. And people say, oh, just trust Trump, he's trillion D Chaz. He's really smart, he's 79. He's smarter than me in many ways, but he's got lots of blind spots, and he's admitted in his first term he didn't know what's going on. He knows a lot more now, but he will tell you that he's just learning, because there's so much to learn, there's so much to know, there's so much to understand.
Let's make
All right,
this
Laura
quick.
Loomer's scheduled to call back in right now with more information on the coup and her sources and what's happening straight ahead. Whatever you do, remember you're the Paul Revere's. This whole show belongs to you. Take clips out of the show, repost them everywhere, share the live feeds. That's how I reach new people. You are literally beyond critical. You are the
Stay
essence of
home.
the fire. Share the live feeds now.
It
We're
is
all
the
shows
phone's
on
turn.
X.
Alex Jones, patriot, a man they tried to silence. For his voice, his platform, his life, but they can't stop him. Gentlemen, we can do
For
it.
fuck's sakes.
We have the technology, we have the capability to make the world
Transform myself into a rat.
Alex Jones will be that man. Better than he was before. Better, stronger, faster, louder.
Right.
Go to AlexJonesApp.com, the #1 news app in the world.
As rain finds the ground.
We are the #1 hated media organization in the world by every evil, disgusting, sickening organization on the face of the planet. And I'm going to say it. If you're going to go as big as you can. That's why John Hancock saw people signing their names, little bitty, and people he knew signing them. You really couldn't tell who they were. And I get it. Every person signing them was signing their he got up there. Said, I'm going to have the king come after me. I want him to come after me #1. Yeah, I'm going to risk my life fighting tyranny. Anybody's ever been in fights, you learn you hesitate when somebody's trying to beat the hell out of you. You'll get your ass kicked. But you just decide to beat the living hell out of them and stop worrying about who's winning. And you're going to win almost every time unless you're fighting Mike Tyson. I know people will knock you upside the head really hard and like sit back and look at what it did. Or somebody will hit you in the side of the head with a baseball bat, then they'll kind of sit back and watch and see what it did. I'm like a Terminator. You're about to find out.
Shove that bat up your ass and turn you into a popsicle.
So, that's what's going on here. And I love it because we're drawing their fire. We've exposed them. We've drawn them out of their rat holes to do all of this. Soros, scum, Soros, DA, all of them are filth. They're disgusting tyrants. Just like judges in Nazi Germany or Soviet Russia. They're disgusting. And it's like we're in the dark and they got night vision. We're in a pitch black arena with no light. And they've got their illuminators on and they can see us. Well, guess what? I walked over with my listeners collectively and pulled the switch and turned the lights on. The real war's here with the globalists and Soros and Obama and the I mix with this. Their attacks on Trump, their lawfare, their all the
shit.
How'd that work out for them?
Wrong one. Fuck. Fucking piece of shit. There's no undo, eh? Let's see.
Good shot.
Beyond Clint Eastwood, badass American Eagle gaze of total defiance that everybody looks at and knows deep down that's the alpha male, that's the badass, that's the defiant real person. You can't fake that look. And then when they shot him, you got even more of that look, except the lips pulled down and the teeth bared and the eyes bugging out. Yes, we get to see who's really who at times like this, don't we? And now the bad guys are gonna find out who's really who, aren't you? Because the veneer of civilization is burning off. And all the posers and all the thugs.
We done? No. Good.
And this country on its knees and cowed are now just beginning to understand that they have awoken the terrible giant.
All right. Make this count.
All right, in January of this year, 11 months ago, James O'Keefe and undercover footage of the head liaison,
Nick White,
FBI
come on
agent
over.
that was formerly
Enemies
former
up.
chief of staff for Hillary, quarterbacking that he was in meetings at the Pentagon with top generals, planning a coup against Trump and how they were going to say his actions were illegitimate. CNN, even before that broke, was saying, oh, there's meetings at the Pentagon about what to do about Trump's illegal orders before he's even in office.
Fuck.
And they lied, so all the orders are illegal. They're teeing up a civil war. The Podesta plan. The movies they produce, their freaking programming, like Civil War. And this year, one battle after another. And so I was already planning to go with this, that they need to take out Hegseth to take control of the Pentagon. They say don't follow illegal orders, that means state coup. Well, you got to take out the Secretary of Defense to do that. And then I saw Laura Loomer, investigative reporter, confidant of the president, with this detailed report on her X account, exclusive, that is dead on. It has a lot of info I didn't know, but the stuff I do know is deadly accurate.
I had hoped to arrive sooner,
So there's few people
dire
harping
matters
on
demanded
this.
my attention.
But you've got all
There are
these
those
top
among my
Obama,
kin who
Clinton,
seek
globalists,
peace
dyed in the wool,
and
part
I
of all
sought
the
to uncover who might be driving them to such folly. But I see I have come too late to prevent more bloodshed. Are any
This
gravely
move on
wounded?
Hagset, we see concerted attacks on Hagset. So, Floor Lumber, thanks for calling in. I know you're super busy. You got the floor. You're going to be hosting now. So 17 minutes to break to go through this and lay all this out. This is so urgent that they can get Hagset. And also answer my question. I know you know more about the virus than I do.
So,
Trump's totally
you
behind
admit you
Hagset.
killed
So
my kin when they came to
they're
address
clearly
your breach of
trying
the
this new
treaty.
operation. How do they think they're going to manipulate him into that? Don't they know Hagset was following his orders? So he removes Hagset. That by extension says he's guilty, which he's not. But still, they have a full court press to do this ahead of these reports that start coming out in the next few days.
Let us
about
set aside the issue of the treaty and
They're so
our debt for
embarrassing.
the
I see
moment.
this as
Do you have the
desperation.
arrows?
What do you see as?
Well, I see it as desperation, but I also just see it as just another attempt to undermine President Trump, undermine our national security, and
These
again, undermine
fletchings.
Pete Hegseth. And I'm going to bring this up again.
No elven hands
If you look
crafted
at my
these.
report and you look at the
Whoever
details in my
fires
report,
upon you
I
does
make
so
it
to
very
stoke
clear.
the flames of
The
war.
leaks are coming from inside the Secretary of the Army's office. And so, what is the relationship with the Secretary of the
Your trust
Army
in
and
deeds,
individuals
not
told on the
words.
outside in the
I will remain
fake
here
news
to
media
administer to
on
your
the left?
wounded, while my friends take these arrows to the Emerald Enclave
Jake
representative.
Sullivan and Maggie Goodlander have a very close connection to Army Secretary Dan Driscoll. And
Your
I do think that
decision
this
does
is
you
something
credit
that
as
needs
a
to be
leader of your
examined
people.
further.
I
don't
am
think it's
grateful
something
for
that
this
should just be
opportunity to
ignored
aid you.
because
My
even Vice
friends,
President
please
Vance
take the
yesterday
arrows to
said
Lady Fallwater,
that
so that
he
she might
posted
know
a
the
tweet, and you
truth.
can probably pull it up on the screen. I think he said, well said, when somebody said, oh, don't forget, the Democrats all oppose Pete Hegseth, and that should really speak volumes. Well, guess who the Democrats didn't oppose? They didn't oppose Dan Driscoll. And, you know, I really think that Dan Driscoll is
You
counting on
found
the
a piece
fact
of
that
sheet music.
he's best
It
friends
must be
with
part
the
of
Vice
Deacon
President
Dale's
as a way to
collection.
cover his ass
This
and a
was
way
the
to
final sheet
protect
of
him
music.
from
Return
the
to
activities
Deacon
taking
Scalesinger.
place inside his office against Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. And so I'm not saying that the Vice President is involved in this, but I do think that Dan Driscoll is probably behaving in a manner that is, I mean, you could say it's quite
Carl,
brazen,
stop being parasocial. We're not
probably because he
real.
feels
My
like he
username
has
is
an
Shuby's
extra
butt
layer
plug
of
for Christ's
protection
sake.
given his
Why would you
personal
want us?
friendship with the
Chat.
Vice President.
Talk to
And
you.
so,
Stop being
I
parasocial
think
with
that
chat
people
and spend
should
more time
pay
with
close
Paul.
attention to the statements made by Army Secretary Dan Driscoll since he assumed his position, and just contrast them with the new philosophy of the Department of War. And you'll find that his statements and his behavior and his associations are not only, you know, anti-Trump, but also too
My friends,
very,
what else can I do for you?
I would say,
Many
much
of my
more
kin are
aligned
blinded
with
by the
the
belief
left
that
of
it
the
is
Democrat
steel,
Party than the
not
right.
wisdom, that will safeguard our land. As for the leader, a druid, I am told his name is sworn to me, but I'm told he was a voice of balance, a healer, a guardian of the wilds, but he has now found favor through fiery words, stirring anger and vengeance in the hearts of those who mourn the tragedy of the lawless camp. Yet I fear this path may lead only to further suffering. My friends, what else can I do for you?
There's a whisper campaign, and even here in the Pentagon, I mean, I've been
I
here
do
at the
not,
Pentagon
but
for
they
the
are
last
not the work
3
of any
days now
elven
for the
fletcher I
Pentagon press
know.
corps,
The weight is
training
wrong.
orientation.
The fletching crude, the
It's
balance
a little bit
wrong.
more than a whisper
No
campaign.
elf,
It's a little
even
bit
in
more than a
Roth,
whisper
would
campaign.
cross such
And
weapons.
I think
Yet,
that there are
if not elves,
pretty clear tensions
then
between
who
the
looses them
secretaries,
from the
and
shadows?
you're not supposed to
My
really have
friends,
those
what
tensions
else can I
because
do for
it
you?
undermines the, you know, it not only serves to undermine Pete Hegseth's authority as the Secretary of War, but it creates a
I grieve for
work
them,
environment. If
as I
people
grieve
are
for all my
vying for
kin
each other's
lost to this
positions as opposed to being
senseless
focused
strife.
on
I know
supporting
not who struck them
the
down,
Secretary
but
as
it
he's
was not the
conducting these
lawless, if
airstrikes
the words
and
hold true.
is
Whoever
you
did
know,
this
defending
sought to
himself
not only
against
their deaths,
just an
but
onslaught
to
of
set
media
fire to the
smears.
embers of war.
Every
We
day
must
there's
uncover the hand that
topics.
wields this blade before it strikes again. My friends,
But even more
what else can I
importantly, it's
do
about
for you?
undermining him as illegitimate. They can undermine Hegseth as illegitimate. They think they get their coup in there. And if
Too
you
many
lay it on your
shadows move
post,
in these
they're really
woods.
worried because Hegseth keeps
Elves
following
lie
orders.
slain,
And
and the
they're going to go
loggers
into
are
sedition
assailed,
6 all of them.
yet
Elaborate on
neither
why
side
they're so
knows
scared.
the true enemy. If we have any hope of stopping this
They're
war,
scared
the
because
true
look at
villains
some
must
of
be
these
driven into the
operatives
light.
who participated
Please
in
get
the
those
video.
arrows
Right?
to
You have
Sancho
Alexis
Fallwater.
Logan, who's a
Countless
former
lives
CIA
depend upon
officer.
it.
You
My
have Mark
friends,
Kelly.
what
You
else can I
have
do for you?
You have Maggie
May
Goodlander,
Covert guide
who
and
is in
protect
the
you.
Navy, the wife of Jake Sullivan. I mean, look at the web. Don't you find it to be kind of bizarre that she marries Jake Sullivan and doesn't take his last name? Why do these people intentionally keep their maiden name and not assume their spouse's name? Because they want to hide from the public how they're connected to these deep state actors who are so anti-Trump they had their security clearances revoked, right? I can't emphasize that enough. Maggie Goodlander. This woman is a radical Democrat. She is a Trump hater. She is friends with the Army Secretary. She went to law school with the Army Secretary. She gave a $2,800 max donation to his congressional campaign. So in what world is a radical Democrat, an anti-Trump individual married to Jake Sullivan, one of the most rabidly anti-Trump individuals who lost his security clearance for his participation in the Russia collusion hoax? In what world are people like that associated with the Army Secretary, who is supposed to be working under Pete Hegseth, right? The ideal MAGA Secretary of War. It's bizarre. And as you've been around as long as I have, longer than I have, and you know that where there's smoke, there's fire. And these associations are not innocent. It's not as simple as saying, oh, well, you know, I really like them, they're a nice person. If you choose to be friends with and associate with people who, you know, manufactured a coup, manufactured so much social consternation and tension in our country to tear the fabric of our country apart for the last 10 years, right? People were killed. People died in acts of political violence. The president was almost assassinated. If you choose to be friends with people like this, I seriously question your moral character.
Well, I totally agree with you. And just to be clear, these are 18 members of Obama and Biden and all the rest of them. You see the full court press demonizing Hegseth and Trump right now, and Trump's got millions of employees under him. He doesn't understand this, just like when we exposed
You went to the longest camp
them
with
fired,
Christian,
they got so upset.
yet now
This
you
is
leave with
exactly
more.
what we need to be
According
doing
to
right
Lirio
now.
Galanda,
And
some other party
again,
pronounced
it's all
conflict
part of
between the
the
loggers
takeover.
and
It's
the
like
elves.
Todd Blanche, the rest of them,
Perhaps some
killing all these
performer can
indictments.
shed
Ask
some
Heist
light
what if
on
he
the
took his
shadows.
riot
This is
shield
really
while
the
wielding
crux
the
of the
katana.
problem.
That was scare home
Laura
invaders.
Loomer, if they were successful removing Hegseth, that would then just visually indict Trump for what they're claiming this being a war crime. This would be political
Yeah, but
suicide.
it would also turn control of the Department of War over to a hostile actor. And then they would be able to defy, possibly, I mean, hypothetically speaking, if you have somebody who is anti-Trump who ends up becoming the new Secretary of War, maybe they haven't been as vocal in their views opposing President Trump as some people on the left, but deep down they have this resentment. They're sleeper cells. They're sleeper cells. Exactly. That's the perfect word. They're essentially sleeper cells, and we know that there's so many sleeper cells in all agencies, especially at the Department of War. Then that paves the way for them to refuse to carry out the president's agenda. So the president has talked about perhaps implementing the Insurrection Act to get a control over these illegal aliens, the riots, Antifa, the Muslim Brotherhood, the Red Green Alliance, this axis that we've seen that is more united than ever before to undermine our Constitution and undermine our way of life here in the United States. And that will prevent President Trump from using the military to carry out his agenda, using the National Guard to carry out his agenda.
Let me stop you. Now, this is not your opinion. This is not my opinion. CNN, MSNBC, 70s president-elect, this is the plan. Undermine the military, have the brass stand up, when the left burns down cities and pushes insurrection, which they've been doing, and then give them a ticket for civil war, and then they, in the film, which is a model of the Master Plan, Civil War, the military joins with the Democrats, with the Western Alliance, which is now Governor Newsom's calling it a Western Alliance. They march on D.C. and kill a Trumpian figure in the White House. So this is literally their blueprint. That's how important this is. This is so key. They're actually trying it. Laura Loomer, what do we do to stop this?
Much discussion. Some in admiration.
Well, I think everybody needs to support Pete Hegseth, and they need to push back on propaganda and notice too,
Anything on
they're
your mind?
using this walkout. It's very coordinated. All of the hit pieces on Pete Hegseth, all of the attacks on the White House, all of the attacks on President Trump. It's not a coincidence that it's happening at the same time that they're trying to say President Trump and Pete Hegseth have killed free press in America as we know it. Free press in the West is dead as we know it, because they didn't want to sign a piece of paper that said you're not allowed to solicit classified information inside the Pentagon, okay? And so it's very coordinated. They're trying
Oh,
to
your dishwasher is so loud. Can you tell Kimberly to be a little more quiet while putting on a load? Kimmy, we get it, you
and
do
a lot of
white
these people, that's
things.
what they
Chill.
specialize in. They specialize in information warfare, psychological warfare. It's a psychological mind game. They're pushing propaganda and trying to manipulate people into truly believing they are occupied by a king, right? They're living under a king. They staged their No Kings protest. They were chanting 8647 when nobody picked up a gun and shot the president, right? They moved on to other people, right? The radical left took out Charlie Kirk. They're trying to target other conservative commentators. There's been an increase in violent attacks against conservatives, right? People have gone to jail for threatening me over the last few weeks. People just for trying to kill Matt Walsh and his wife, Ben Johnson. You name it. They are trying to create a violent environment. So, like you said, right? It can pave the way for potentially civil war. I have to go to my next interview now. I'm here inside interviewing officials, but I think people really need to take this seriously, Alex, because the propaganda works hand in hand with the incitement of political violence, and eventually it's going to explode into a situation that is not really containable.
From the loggers' camp. But no
Well said. Well, I'm
ever
really
made
glad
such
that
crude
you
weapons.
shot this out there. I know you talked to Trump quite a bit. We're able to get him information as well. What are you going to be saying to President Trump when you talk to him next about the situation?
In the meantime, please investigate Marshall Apollo and return with what you learn.
In my opinion,
Did
I think
you
the
have
XF
other
is doing,
questions
I think
before you set out?
he's following orders. His job is to follow the orders of the president. And so ultimately what Secretary of War Hegseth is doing is he's implementing the president's own commands and his own desires. So I think that there needs to be more accountability for people working inside the administration that collude with people who have had their security clearances revoked. If you're working inside the Trump administration and you're working for a secretary, or you are a secretary yourself, and you are found to be colluding with people like Jake Sullivan or any of the seditious six, there should be
Beyond the glade, you found an entrance to this once holy site. This font of healing is defiled, stone hard, seeping something foul instead of purity. The pool behind the altar reeks of decay.
There's sleeper
Rocks
cells
black
at
and
DHS,
stagnant,
there's sleeper
crawling
cells at
with
the State
insects.
Department, there's sleeper cells
Someone
all
has
over.
desecrated
People
this
who are
shrine,
embedded
and something
within.
must be done
Some of
to
these
cleanse
people
it.
are political, some of these people are careers, and they are undermining the president's agenda, serving as spies for the former administration officials and serving as sources for the mainstream media so that they can coordinate their hit pieces against President Trump and his officials.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Trump he likes Hegseth, and he knows Hegseth, so he's told.
No, he likes him. And ultimately, it comes down to President Trump. I mean, look, I think that President Trump, more so now, if we were in his first term, it'd probably be a different situation. But I think the president is so familiar and well seasoned with fake news attacks, and he's seen so many of his top officials and some of his biggest loyalists get taken out by the fake news media, that I don't think that these reports faze the president, right? And when we've seen it happen multiple times over the last couple of weeks where he's had Caroline
Hey
Leavitt
Kim,
bring
just
these,
checking in to see how your buttworms are doing.
into the
Hopefully
Oval
you can get
Office
that
for
figured
photos
out. Hey Kim, just
and
checking
mock
in
the
to see
fake
how
news
your
media
buttworms
and
are
say,
doing. Hopefully
yes,
you can get
President
that
Trump
figured
wants
out.
these people fired so badly that he's sitting here in the Oval Office with them, telling them what a great job they're doing. So I think that people really need to be on alert for the side effects of this programming. I know that your audience, your viewers are pretty in tune with what you call the information war, info wars, right? You're all about it. But so many people in America are going to fall victim to this, and I call it psychological warfare, because they're deliberately lying. They know they're lying. They're using emotional and salacious talking points to cause like a visceral reaction, a very emotional reaction, sometimes a violent reaction from their
As you
radical
perform the
audience
ritual,
that they're
a
appealing
vision
to.
takes
And people
hold.
need to do what they
A
can
flash
to
of
protect
black
themselves
scales
from
glistening
being
in dim
victimized by
light.
this propaganda.
And with it, a whiff of decay. You force these intrusive thoughts away and focus on what the ritual requires.
So important.
With renewed clarity, you realize that to cleanse the shrine, you must make a sacrifice.
And Trump needs to know that means the knives are out for him. If he lets that domino fall, he's next. Will be facing impeachment hearings for war crimes, which are clearly not war crimes. Absolutely.
You spill the potion into the waters and watch as its sparkling liquid seems to chase the shadows out of the water. You've done it. You turn to leave and spy an ominous figure arriving at the entrance. It seems they came to pay homage at the corrupted shrine.
Trying to get control yet again. They gotta remove Xcom. They gotta control the Pentagon. They're already trying to discredit ahead of time anything Trump does with the Pentagon because he's got control of it partially. So the best thing they can do is get control of it themselves. This is no-brainer stuff. This is not an opinion. This is another coup. This is the stay-behind networks, the sleeper cells, whatever you want to call it. This is a key thing. I know it's not what the other talk shows are talking about. I know it's not the big story right now. We're not about whatever the big story is. We spotlight what the key intel is, and we're right over and over and over and over and over and over again. All right. I want to look at the upcoming strikes on Venezuela, Colombia, and others. And you can debate all day whether or not it's a good idea. Trump has the authority to do it. It's in our hemisphere. They're working with the Democrats. They've been caught. It's a very aggressive move of Trump. But then that ties into Russia, which is the big war that threatens all our lives.
Fingers crossed.
Bankrupt us. And we knew that NATO and the EU would try to sabotage it again, and they've done just that. So the first thing I want to cover is Putin's statement on this and more. Then we got new developments on the shooter of the National Guard before Thanksgiving. Just like I said, being compromised, being blackmailed. By deep state groups. Mainstream news. Suspect may have been blackmailed before National Guard attack. Also, Trump on the economy. His actions are great. His rhetoric's terrible. I'm going to get into that. Big developments on that front and so much more today. We'll also look at the incredible tyranny enveloping Canada. And when I say incredible, it's Orwellian. You're like, oh, who cares? That's another country. No, that's what the globalists want for us. So they're just a few years ahead of us. That's coming up too. Stay with us. My fellow info warriors, you're having right now in late November into early December the biggest sale in the history of InfoWars. That's in 28 years. You know why? It's the InfoWars closing mega blowout sale. And some would say, well, the bad guys are about to take it over. Why should we support it? There's not even enough money in here to keep us running until they auction, saying mid-December to early January. And here's the catch. If they have a real auction and allow good guys to come in and bid, well, then we'll just continue on with the owners. But you already saw the federal auction that even the judge said was a fraud and wasn't real to the Onion and Bloomberg and the Democrats. And so because they're the ones, they control.
Kimberly, are you there? Kimberly, can you take over Carl's stream and do the arm thing? Do the arm thing, Kimberly. We like ice cream.
Well, that was a disaster. Brace yourself.
Or whatever, and then this place shuts down.
Fucking prick.
But I'll tell you this, shut down for sure. Pull the time out. Remember last year when the
fucking prick.
Last November announced that they owned us, sales went down over 75% and have stayed like that because people were like, well, we're not going to give them money. But of course, the could have been Brazilian says now they intend to try to bid and get it again.
What would you control? I mean, I really would like to control InfoWars. No, that's a good answer.
But regardless, it doesn't matter. Our tank is on.
This is going to be awesome.
This is just enough money coming in with the products we have to pay the payroll, to keep the lights on, and to operate to see if this final Hail Mary shot with the state auction works and if good guys are actually allowed to buy it. Remember, the plaintiffs have said they don't want money, they want us off the air. So I'm not going to give up. I'm right to the line here. And this is the biggest sale. You ever heard us say 75% off? That's right. And the products we have are products with great manufacturers, supplement makers that love us and have been giving it to us on spec. So this is all fresh, ladies and gentlemen. We've been in bankruptcy, we've not been able to buy new product. But with this system, we have the product on hand, ready to ship to you, and you're guaranteed to get it. So take action right now. Emergency fundraiser, last chance to save up to 75% at InfoWarsStore.com. Body's Ultimate Turmeric Formula, the very strongest, 40% off. Ultimate Fish Oil, the highest quality, incredible, 40% off. Prebiotic Fiber, 75% off. Pain MD, an incredible natural pain reliever, works incredibly. This is a product that I came out with. Designers, final run of that available. Pain MD, 60% off. Nitrate Boost, a fan favorite. Dr. Judy Bickowitz loves it. Cardiovascular, spike protein detoxer, and men have a great effect, let's just say, in the man department with it. Nitrate Boost, 40% off. Plus, great deals on books, DVDs, shirts, hoodies, and other items at InfoWarsStore.com. So this is probably the last run.
Do as you will.
Items, it's history. Help us fight right to the end, never giving up, and trusting in God for a miracle if that's God's will. That's for you, so take action. This is probably the last time you can. Here in the next month at InfoWarsStore.com.
Is there's going to be a hard set of plaintiffs who are going to be fighting up the course of it.
Fuck.
And not the most important component of it.
Take Alex Jones' platform that he talks about away. And if you're considering giving him money, I just want you to know that based on the jury's verdict today, it's not a very good bet.
The money's not even really the question for me. The question is, will this suit be successful at stopping him from being on the national stage?
Take him out.
What would you control? I mean, I really would like to control it.
Well, I mean, is that rare?
No, that's a good answer.
Leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order, it's Alex Jones.
Well, listen, all I learned, man, is that you know, have a lot of free time.
The answer
Just a
to
little
1974
It is the vote.
1770. You're listening to the Alex Jones Show.
There's crooked politicians and crime in the street, no matter to hell. Tell our kids just say no, and then some penny waste
goes that way. The necromancer lies dead alongside the bones of their skeletal form. Thanks to your efforts to sanctify the shrine, villains will no longer take power from this place.
Alright, guys, so
Mushroom Hollow's next, guys. Alright, we'll save it. We'll see you next one, alright? For a big dungeon, 3 levels.